Welcome. Thanks. All right.
Here we go.
We're going to crack on.
You got this, Julia?
We believe in you.
Oh, Julia. Oh, no, it's fucked.
Oh, no.
From the get-go, it's fucked.
There it is! Yes! All right.
Hello and welcome to Is There Something in This? The first ever live show we've done. We're at Muchmores in Brooklyn with some people that I'm going to say are on the fence as to whether they've made the right decision. Yeah. I do remind you spent $5, so you'll get $5 worth and not a cent more.
Now, speaking of getting their money's worth, are you going to attempt to introduce this podcast without fucking up the intro?
No, I can't. That's part of that was it. That was the intro.
That was the intro.
It, done. We're here.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we're here now, and that's what matters. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for coming to the show. Give yourselves a round of applause for coming out. Thank you to Muchmores for having us. Sorry to the standing room people. It's just a side effect of us being stupidly unaware of how popular this is.
That's right. Yeah, it's very popular. It's very popular. It's like when the Beatles.
There's a couch over here, guys.
There's a couch over there.
Couch over there. If anyone wants to stop standing and preserve their knees, there's two comfortable couches. Red flag. The guy sitting there is also a registered sex offender. So
sure,
at your own risk. Red flag. Yeah.
See, that's why I could never be a sex offender. For a number of reasons, I couldn't be a sex offender. But I hate...
What's the chief reason?
Introducing myself to neighbours. I'm very uncomfortable with that. The idea of, hi, I'm Scott, and then having to say you're a sex... Like, I can't do that not as a sex offender.
Right.
So to then back that up with, by the way...
It's a bit socially awkward to say also sex offender, isn't it? Also.
Do you open with it, or do you take a casserole and be like...
No, you close with it. It's your
That's
closer.
your last thing. So you have a bit of a chat. Great. Oh, great. It's a lovely... You probably wouldn't go with school district. You'd probably mention other parts of the area. And then you go, oh, by the way, I'm a sex offender. All right, I'll see you around.
Now, we do have a lot of people here tonight who are New Yorker cartoonists. We have some heavy hitters. We have we have musicians. We have artists. We have illustrators from the New Yorker as well.
Sure.
And we do have, most importantly, in my mind, my favourite person in the world, Ellis Facts Rosen.
Ellis
Give it up
Rosen,
for Ellis
ladies
Facts
and gentlemen.
Rosen.
So if you're unfamiliar with Ellis, we mention Ellis on the podcast every week because every time we come up with an idea, we're like, God, that's pretty funny. And then we find out Ellis did it.
Yep.
Or we have an idea and then Ellis will email us during the week and be like, oh, that was actually a Grossman joke from 1997. We'll be like, fuck off, Fact. It was a good joke. We came up with it. So what we've decided is we decided to bring Ellis here.
Yeah.
So if anything we pitch has been done, he will go, oh, that was Gary Larson.
Now,
and
let it be known that I spent an hour and 10 minutes in Kmart today looking for an air horn because I wanted Ellis to be able to sit in the front row whenever he heard a gag that may or may not have been done before, for him to be able to give it a bit of wah and then say, no, Gary Larson did that in 96.
Sure. Yeah,
So,
right. And then what happened?
I got a couple of party blowers, didn't test them out in the store. Turns out they were mute.
Oh.
Yeah. They did that rollout thing and they didn't make a noise. So I'm very sorry, Ellis. Meanwhile, here we go. Julia's holding
There they
it.
are. It's proof.
A couple of mute party blowers.
That's good.
Yes. You can make the noise yourself? There you go.
All right.
It's a kind of nasal duck call.
It's like Michael Winslow's here. I made a mistake today just while we're just kind of talking.
Welcome to your entire life. What mistake did you make today?
I washed my hair. I got halfway through. You know when you get the timing wrong of when you wash your hair, and I washed it. I was like, oh, the show. And now it's all weird.
Yeah, you're not much
You've got to be like 2 or 3 days post-wash to get the right oils.
Right, you just got one whistle. You usually get 44.
Yep,
not good. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure if you read The New Yorker. Once in a while, Scott and I get a cartoon published by the grace of God. And we go in every single week, we pitch our batch, and as I say, our hit rate's not dreadful, but it's not great. This week we got one in. This very week we got a cartoon in.
Look at that.
Thank you. The cartoon we got in was actually a fun story. We've had our first beer spill.
Spillage.
And it won't be the last, ladies and gentlemen. The cartoon we had in the mag was, of course, as soon as fall kicked in this week, which was, you can explain the joke. It was actually your idea.
It was God changing the lever from complaining about the heat to complaining about the cold, which we'd actually pitched earlier as... it was the other way around.
It was the other way around. We pitched it in, I want to say June. We pitched a rough, and it was when summer kind of kicked in and it started becoming swampy and horrible. And so they bought it and said, yeah, cool, we'll have that one in the drawer ready. And then it just kind of, days went by. And when I got the okay, I was sitting backstage of Doodle Wars with Hillary Campbell over here, Hillary Fitzgerald Campbell.
Doodle Wars is the show where you fight people with pictures.
Okay, that's a
was
bit
that the
extreme.
thing? It was on NBC. It was an NBC television show, and it was like...
Right, Blueprint, yes, and it was Hillary versus me, and we had to cartoon against each other.
Right.
Competitively.
We've got to stop making everything a fucking competition.
Do we, though?
It's like cupcake wars. Like, and it's fucking... I saw a show the other day
Yeah.
where there were these guys making aggressive aquariums. where does it stop? Like, can't there just be a nice show where someone makes something and you think that's nice? Instead, it's like, I fucking hate Cassidy. She fucked up my aquarium. Fuck you. And like, you're like, yeah, that Cassidy's aquarium's bullshit. It's no coral.
That's very funny.
Yeah. And that's what they did with this.
Right.
This
they
doesn't need competition.
That was like why they didn't like us, is because we had no competition between each other.
Precisely. We're friends.
They were like, well, we didn't tell them
weren't
that.
meant to be.
Don't tell them. But they kept being like, wow, you guys are so nice. And then Jason kept saying like, well, you know, cartoonists are just friendly people.
Did you see the
they're
cutaways
friendly to
of him talking in the diary room, where he's like, she steals ideas, and like she's
Fuck Hillary.
yeah, she shit in a closet once, like it was
that was
kind of
my
stuff.
earlier comment.
I'm upset they cut that, actually.
Yeah.
I know.
There was, they did a lot of the cut, like, you know, the cutaways in reality shows where there's the to-camera pieces where you talk. They filmed a whole bunch of them as if each of us had won, and
you had to pretend like you won.
Yeah, you had to do like the whole like, oh my god, I'm a doodle warrior, and then like I lost.
So in
And
Australia,
it's
the word
tragic.
doodle is slang for dick. So to
Penis.
call yourself a doodle warrior is very
That's kind
fraught.
of fun.
Yeah.
I know a couple of doodle warriors who were introducing themselves to neighbours. That's kind of what...
Yeah, that's right.
So I was drawing... So I got the okay from Emma. I got the email while we were backstage at Doodle Wars, and Hillary and I were just trying... If you've ever been on a TV set, there's just a lot of waiting, and then a brief...
Oh, righto, mate. If you've ever been on a TV set...
We've all been on a
getting
TV
a massage
set.
from Giselle, you know it's not as relaxing as it looks.
It is miserable. There's a lot of waiting around, and so I drew it up while I was in the green room. And as you can see, that's the fucking packet of Fritos and some Doritos. That's the entire green room. And so then I drew it up, sent it in. It just sat in a drawer for 6 months while the weather was warm. And they were like, well, we can't use it anymore.
Right.
And then I sent it in and I flipped it, didn't I? I flipped it from complaining about the heat to complaining about the cold. And here we are today. Now, the best thing, of course, about the New Yorker publishing your cartoons, what is it, Scott?
Is the comments on Facebook where people will say the most inconsequential. It takes
Incongruous,
It takes like two. It takes two comments to get to like this is why Donald Trump was elected. Like that's all it takes. Like and
Right.
it doesn't matter what it is.
What's that thing about how quickly you can get to an argument about Hitler? What's that?
No, it's if you mention Hitler, you've lost the argument.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
There's a specific...
You won the election though. So.
Here's one of my favourite comments that came through on Facebook.
Soon enough, you'll stop complaining as you watch your children gasping their last breath. Holy shit, Dinah!
From that. That's
is,
basically...
yeah.
And then even more brutal than that...
I miss Bob Benkoff. I don't get that joke. What is that? Who's Bob Benkoff?
He's the previous New Yorker cartoon
See, I am
editor.
such a tourist in this world.
That's what I like about
That
you.
means nothing to me.
You're not encumbered by all the socio and political aspects of cartooning.
No.
I'm deeply ensconced in the world, and you're a tourist, as it were.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hey-
what else has been going on with you?
Well, I washed my hair.
Okay.
Um,
I think we've already covered that.
It's leather jacket weather.
Oh, did you get one
No,
yet?
I didn't. I nearly got it. I was tossing up
You
about getting a
nearly
leather
got it.
jacket. But here's what I've decided.
Okay.
I'm getting married in January.
No.
And sure, a lot of women, like, thank God. And I made this decision. You can't be married with a leather jacket because if there's something lame about your wife going, is that my husband's leather? Like, your husband's leather jacket is just a midlife crisis, and I'm not ready for that.
Is the episode title "You Can't Get Married with a Leather Jacket"?
Well, that's why Fonzie was single. It would have been insane if Fonzie had a wife.
Yeah, that's why Fonzie was single.
Yeah. That's someone who would have introduced himself to some neighbours in his day, the old Fonzie. Now, you were on the front page of the Northern Territory News, which for Americans is where
that's a fun noise.
news source where idiots go for puns. And they always have these insane headlines. Like, do you have any?
Do you remember? Like, what's your favourite one that you remember?
Oh, there was something about a guy getting a black eye because a dildo flew out of a stripper, and it
What a memory you have!
And that was a front page news story.
Right. So, for those of you who don't know, I do a syndicated comic strip called Ginger Megs, which is got a couple of fans in here. So it's basically, I've drawn him as Alfred E. Newman on the screen for those who aren't watching, and it's one of those sort of comic strips that's ubiquitous in Australia. It's kind of Australia's Dennis the Menace, so everyone knows it. So the Northern Territory News, upon the time that Meghan Markle and Harry got married.
Okay, so for Americans, that's like, it's not quite Kim and Kanye, it's like Chloe and whichever NBA player she's with. It's like they're just taking a second tier royals.
Yeah, to Will and Kate.
Yeah.
Right. So
That'd be a reasonable...
that's a very
Will,
accurate...
Will is the Kanye West of, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like he's losing his hair and he's not handling it well.
Meets with
he's
the
always
Prime
in a
Minister.
helicopter.
Yeah. He meets with the Prime Minister wearing a fucking hat.
Yeah.
That's him.
He's always hugging Theresa May.
Yeah.
This is the future, bro. That's what he says.
So when the gingerhead Harry got married to Meghan Markle, the front page, and you should know that in the newsroom there's a bet going. There's a pool, and everyone in the newsroom throws into a hat some cash, and they all pitch what they think should be the front page pun headline.
Right.
Of that day, and it usually happens at 4 a.m. So it's always a lot of puns, and so the day they got married, this was the front page of the Northern Territory News in Australia.
I now pronounce you Ginger Megs. That's
Right.
amazing because her name's Megan, yeah.
So her name's Megs, his name's Ginger. They misspelt Megs, but that's okay. So what happened was yesterday, don't think I didn't make merch out of it, by the way.
Did you sell merch?
Fucking A, I did. It's royal merch. I sold tote bags and hats and shirts, and did I what? So
Harry looks way more handsome in that image.
that's what I
than
do.
he
I make
is.
people look better in caricatures.
Right.
I'm a terrible caricaturist.
You did caricatures, didn't you? You had to
I
go
did.
to
Still
weddings.
I still do it all the time.
Which I always thought is such a bad idea.
No, everybody...
Because it's like, it's the equivalent of just getting someone...
Yeah.
Like, if you didn't have the picture thing, you're just going up to strangers going, you got a big nose? Fuck, you look weird. Like, that's all you're doing. You're just going up. You like golf? I bet you do with your big head. Like,
You're just angry that your business venture of audio caricatures didn't take off.
Your teeth are fucked. That's all I did. I'd go to weddings and just yell out people's faults.
You're very asymmetrical. Yeah. It's not very popular. So what happened was yesterday, and by the way, the Northern Territory News, if you can explain the gravity of getting a front page of the NT News, we're competing with such headlines as,
This is it, yeah. Best man left bleeding after being hit in head by flying dildo. And wait until you hear where it came from. Vagina. It was from a vagina.
spoiler alerts, full story, page 8. What's
Yeah.
happening on page 1 through 7?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The full story. I think
story.
we've got the full story.
Pretty much. Here's one.
This is a guy, he's drinking a beer from a jar and there's a snake wrapped around it. Why I stuck a cracker up my clacker. Now, for Americans, he put a firecracker in his asshole and lit it. And then I think underneath it says someone reveals all on page 2. That's good. That's good.
And of course...
Ginger Pregs.
There you go. She's pregnant. Megan's pregnant, so now
yeah.
she's Ginger Pregs. So every time they refer to her now in the newspaper, she is now Ginger Pregs.
Good on her.
Good on her, though.
Yeah. What's the timeline?
Don't think
there?
I didn't make fucking merch about it either.
What's the timeline? Like, I know it's kind of uncouth
It
to
is
try
very
to figure
uncouth.
out when they had sex, but was she pregnant walking down the aisle?
Was it a shotgun wedding?
Is it
Was it a 5-rifle wedding? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Could have been. Who knows? Anyway, we'll let the
Should we get into some
Let's
jokes?
get into some jokes. Okay, so each week, if those of you who are here, thank you for coming again, by the way. Those of you who are new to the pod, every week Scott and I chuck a couple of ideas around each and we punch them up and then we pitch them. And this week we're going to start with Scott, but with a little bit of a twist. This week, I've got me bloody. Oh,
you're going to draw them live.
Drawing tablet.
Okay.
For those listening at home, I've got my drawing tablet in front of me, and I'm ready to bloody draw.
Okay.
So I'm going to draw these cartoons up as Scott pitches them to me.
Now, if you do hear Ellis, what was the noise again?
I believe it was
Yeah, okay. If you hear that, it means the idea's been done somewhere else, and
Yeah.
now we've got to kind of think of something else.
Right.
This one I think may have been done.
Okay.
It's a job. It's a job interview.
Oh, okay.
So-
I think I actually have a. I think I have a job at. Now, this is a peek behind the curtain, guys. I actually already have a job interview cartoon that I can just basically copy and paste.
So that's Snapchat.
Yeah, I basically I didn't sell this one. It's
Oh, I can't imagine why. It's a classic.
It's a clanger. It's Snapchat in a job interview, and the interviewer is saying, "Where do you see yourself in 5 minutes?"
There you go.
That's why it didn't sell. That's silence. So who's in the chair this time, Scott?
So what I was thinking is it's a job interviewer, and in the chair is like a hideous monster.
All right, calm down, mate.
It's a hideous monster sat there, and the job interviewer is reading the monster's resume, and the caption says, and it says here you're a hideous swamp monster.
Okay, so
Has that been done, Ellis?
Ellis, has that been done? Have you seen that?
You mean that's unspun
Says
gold?
here, you're a hideous swamp monster. Now, is there any that's?
I don't know about the caption, to be fair.
You don't know about the caption? Are you
I
on
don't know,
the fence about it?
Or if there's a better angle, like it says here you live in the swamp, or
I see.
something along those. Like, I'm just trying to think of what. It's very difficult because you and I have never had jobs. So
That's
it's
true.
hard,
I've never
we
sat
don't-
for a single job interview in my
We don't
life.
know what happens in these things. So as a result, we're fascinated by them. But that idea.
Are you sure you've never been in a single job interview in your entire life?
No, not really. No. I
Really?
mean, when
I mean, you've
oh yeah,
had
for
jobs.
jobs, but like stuff like, can you do Tuesday nights? Like, that's the extent of it, because I was like delivering a pizza or something.
Right, okay. What's delivering pizza? I used to have a pizza job. I used to wave a cardboard sign on
Fuck
a highway.
off. I've never met anyone that's done that. What
That was
did
me.
it say on the sign? Car wash?
$5.95 pizzas. Two pizzas, $5.95. I used to
Wow.
Friday from 4 p.m. until 7 p.m. peak hour on a highway.
What is the level of product before that becomes a completely ineffective method of advertising? Like,
Yeah.
what is the price point?
Mattresses.
Because $5.95, you're like, yeah, maybe I'll stop for a pizza, but it's not like, get your new Bugatti. Like, you know, what you know, it'd be insane to try to sell $1 million car that way.
Well, I mean, honestly, I worked my way up to that. So I was scrubbing pans, and then I was like folding boxes, and I worked my way up to dressing as a koala and waving a cardboard. It was a corflute sign that said $5.95 pizzas. And what happened was that was the same year my sister got her car, her license. So she would drive past knowing full well I was going to be there. She used to throw lemons at me. She'd
throw lemons at you?
Yeah, she'd wind down her window, drive past,
That'd
go,
hurt.
dickhead, and then like throw a lemon at me. I'd use the sign as a shield. And then here's the problem. The guy who had the job before me quit in a huff, and he vomited inside the head of the koala costume.
What, as a like final fuck you?
Yeah, as a final fuck you. And so I never wore the head of the koala costume because it stank like
So
vomit.
it's just a bloke with a furry, like, onesie on.
Yeah.
Saying $5.95. Who is buying a pizza from that place?
I mean, lots of
What was it?
fucking
Was it
people.
like a big chain? Was it?
Yeah, it was called Pizza Haven. I don't give a shit. So it was basically me on the side of the road with a sign, just wobbling it like Rolf Harris. And then my little my little gormless 16-year-old face saying, please, $5.95 pizza, and then a fucking lemon getting thrown at me.
What would you...
Splat.
And what?
Yeah.
And how? And when? So when you're at a party at 16 and you're
Yeah.
like drinking your
Yeah.
Carlton Cold, what would you?
Wait a second, what?
What would you?
This just took a
what would
turn.
you say you
Yeah.
did?
Oh, at a party?
Yeah.
I love that you assume I was invited to parties.
Of course not.
Of course I wasn't. I wasn't there. This is the difference between you and I wasn't a cool kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love that one. That's your first one.
So okay.
Job interview. Love it. Very funny.
It's all right.
I mean, we'll pitch it and then we'll get it rejected and we'll re-pitch it as a Snapchat cartoon.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
What about it's two? I don't know if it's two ghosts, but like
Okay.
the classic.
Shut up and take my money.
The classic.
Okay.
You know,
So-
the classic ghost look, like emoji ghost kind of thing.
Classic.
Maybe it's a ghost. Maybe it's a male ghost on a date with a person, a woman.
Wait a minute.
A normal person.
An actual woman?
A woman, actual woman.
So
and
not
they're
a ghost-
walking along.
Wait a minute. Not a ghost woman?
Not a ghost woman, like a woman. Like, you know, a
you sure?
non-dead live woman.
Oh, okay. All right.
And they're walking along, and then, you know how you see cars with the covers on them?
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
with
yeah.
the
Like,
sheets on them.
especially in, like, winter.
If they're coming up, and he's like, oh, that's me there. And he's got to go, like, it's like a ghost car.
Oh, wait. So is it like the cover like this?
Yeah. The cover's like that.
What's he saying? This
He's
is
like, oh,
me?
that's me. Yeah. Yeah. Right? That kind of works, huh?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh.
And how's his little face there? Like, he's like, you got on the
gonna
back
get-
seat of this fucking ghost car, love.
He's going to get ghost laid. Wow. That's a great joke.
Because I see them around. I'm
funny.
always like, that's a ghost car.
Wait a minute. You see ghosts around?
Yes.
That's not normal.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
All right.
What do you got? What
I
else
got
you
another
got?
one here. Has that been
Sorry to
done,
hear-
Alice?
The tag's been done, but for that specific context, you're good.
No. Okay.
When
That's
you-
a thumbs up from
Okay,
Ellis.
Now, when Ella says the tag's been done, and the tag is "This is me,"
That's nitpicking.
I mean,
Calls them as I see them. Want me to do my job?
Oh, now.
if you didn't hear that, if that thing picked up, he goes, "I calls him as I sees him."
We've created a one-person Statler and Waldorf here.
Stoldorf.
Is there
Yeah.
something in this? And
Okay.
this is actually quite an Ellis idea.
Uh-oh.
Which, you know, Ellis does these great. He does great ads for things like
Did this
billboards
podcast just
and-
become Ellis Cast?
Yeah,
is
yeah.
this just
It's
one
a reverse roast.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's an ad for a product. So it's
Okay.
like maybe a magazine ad or something. And the product is a pillow that's designed to be screamed into.
In the Trump era, I feel like it would sell very well.
Yeah. So like, because
What's it called? Scream
pillow?
Scream.
Wow,
pillow.
how did we come up with that? This is.
What is it like? The Scream mask as a pillow? Like what? What's the actual thing?
Yeah, I don't know if it's like, or maybe it was. Now this kind of seems a bit familiar to me. The idea of a psychologist prescribing a pillow to scream in.
Oh, okay.
Has that been done, Ellis? Yeah, it does feel familiar.
Wait, what's the noise?
I believe the noise is.
All right, that's.
That does sound familiar. Was
What-
that you?
Have you seen that before?
Yeah, there's a
Great mic technique,
there's
buddy.
a
Yeah.
daily. Thank you. There's a daily where it's like someone's buying pillows to scream
Something,
into.
yeah, right.
No.
Yeah,
maybe
these are
it's a
the
bit.
pillows to scream into.
Yeah,
Something like
okay.
that,
Oh,
yeah.
it's a bit close. Scrap that.
So all I ever do, I spend most of my day Googling, has this been done? And 9 times out of 10, I'm absolutely right. I'm absolutely right. And it's something like pillow forts screaming into pillows.
Right.
There's a lot of pillow... Wait, is that an Ellis J. Rosen
An
cartoon?
Ellis J. Rosen
So
cartoon.
there we go.
Oh, there we go. July 18th. All right. I like the idea of a screamable pillow.
Yeah,
Like,
there's something in
It's got
that,
a
right?
section in it that's cut out like a face, like a dent for a face, in the way that you have like a massage table with a hole in it. Instead of it being a hole for a massage, it's just like basically.
Maybe it's like State of the Union merch, and there's a whole bunch of shit that when you go mental, it's like here's
State of the Union.
Yeah, like when he gives a speech or something, and it's like
Oh, I know.
I'm just trying to think of a.
Is there an American flag on the pillow?
Oh yeah,
Is that what it is? Because then, even if you're a Republican, you'll buy it. because you want to be patriotic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And they can advertise in every magazine, maybe on InfoWars.
And then maybe an asterisk that says like no kneeling or something. I don't know. You know, I don't know.
No kneeling. I can't wait to have this one rejected.
I kind of like this idea.
Okay. Boy, that's a strong indictment. All right, let's really sell it. What do we got?
It's like a medieval house, and you can see out the window, like so it's a kitchen, and then out the kitchen
when
window.
When you say a medieval house, they had castles back then, or thatched cottages.
Yeah, like a cottage. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So
it's a medieval
cottage
kitchen
window. All right. So
and
like Game of Thronesy. All right.
Yeah, kind of that. And then out the window, out the kitchen window, you can see Excalibur.
Oh, a sword in the stone.
It's sword in the stone, just out the window, like that's just out the front.
Okay.
And
Wow,
it's,
Jesus.
and
What kind of location is this?
It's King Arthur's house, right? And King Arthur's wife is saying, "Did you call the sword guy?" And it's been giving her the shits for years, and she's like, "You gotta," because I was thinking, you can tell what point of a relationship you're in by what you say after sex, like. So, because when you first sleep with someone, it's always like, oh, that was nice. And then eventually like, you move up to, I love you. And then you get to the point where straight afterwards, you're like, oh, have you seen my checkbook? Like, it's just some non sequitur. And that's what I was thinking King Arthur would be at. Like, did you call the sword guy?
I love the idea that there's a sword guy.
Yeah.
And that he knows he can pull it out.
And the only reason he pulled it out was just to shut her up. Like, oh, fuck, I'll do it myself. Fuck this.
Fuck's sake.
Why would I pay a guy to do something I can do myself, Cheryl? Like, that kind of attitude.
Madam Cheryl.
Yeah.
So Lady
Cheryl.
Lady
King
Cheryl
Arthur.
saying, did you call the sword guy? To a very upset King Arthur on the couch.
Yeah.
Reading his catalogue, about to buy a fucking scream pillow.
Yeah.
And the sword is still in the
I like
stone.
his reading. Was this before the printing press?
Okay, one guy, like a maester or something, sat and hand wrote a newspaper
for him.
with an American flag screen pillow in it.
Ginger Pregs on the front. And
Ginger Pregs.
I do kind of like that idea. That
One of the other great Northern Territory news headlines, by the way, was when Australia was accused of ball tampering using adhesives in the pocket. And
in the cricket.
In the cricket, yeah. what a crowd for cricket. And the
do your cricket gear. That'll go well in an arts night in Brooklyn.
And I think their headline, it was actually honestly, I thought it was quite a good headline. But the headline was the guy who why I've got some sticky near my dicky.
Oh, that's right.
That's news, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
That's journalism, yeah.
That's great. What's the closest, like the New York Post would be?
Yeah, the Post, for
closest
sure.
to that.
Or the Daily News. They're always just jousting for the lowest common denominator. I think that's all right. I reckon...
I don't mind Sword Guy. I think Sword Guy
Guy's
can
pretty
go
good.
in.
Did you call the Sword Guy? That's pretty great.
Well, also the inference that he's got a phone. You know what I mean?
Call
Like,
him.
it's a whole...
No, out the fucking window.
Yeah.
Oi! Sword Guy.
I also like the idea of like when King Arthur came home with the round table. She's like, "Where am I putting this? This is stupid. It's round.
It's a round
What are
coffee
you
table
doing,
book
mate?
that is a coffee table.
What have you got? That's me. That's my batch.
Oh, that's your batch.
mine.
Give it up for Scott's batch,
Sure.
by the way.
Yeah.
Scott Dooley.
I think there's something in Ghost Car and King Arthur.
Yeah, I definitely think Ghost Car's got some legs.
Did I have anything else?
I also love the idea that... oh, fuck, the caption's on. Some of you saw the caption. All right, so this next one I've scribbled up. It's a gentleman in a similar, not quite a job interview. He's kind of at a publishing house with an editor or an agent. Like what would you call it, a literary agent?
Yes.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Like a classic New York literary agent. Couple of...
Classic New
Classic.
York literary agent.
It's almost a template now.
You can put classic New York in front of anything and people will go with it. It was a classic New York surf story. What the fuck are you talking about? And people will be like, oh yeah, the city was like the fourth character. They took bullshit.
Classic New York pedophile neighbour. Anyway, so we've got the publishing agent behind the desk with a laptop, and she's got a guy sitting across from her. he seems in his stomach. There seems to be something in his stomach.
Sure.
And the caption is, "I think you have a book in you."
Oh my God.
And the shape of the thing in him is a book.
Is there something in...
There's something in him.
There's something in that, but is there something in it being in, like a doctor getting an X-ray?
Oh,
and it's like
that's
you
better.
always said you had a book in you.
That's way better. Yeah.
They like he's getting the news.
Yeah, let it be known this is the first pass at this idea. That's way better. If it's even the doctor with the X-rays after the fact.
Yeah.
The guy
like looking
sitting
at
there
the thing and he's got
with his awkward stomach, and then the X-ray actually has like Tolstoy or something.
Oh
shit!
Oh, Ellis.
Controversial. Hang on.
Okay.
Charlie did this.
Oh,
Sorry.
Charlie Hankin, the prolific New Yorker cartoonist.
Yeah. But it's two book. I mean, it's two book bags. It's like
Hillary Facts Campbell. I just realised it's not Hillary Fitzgerald Campbell.
I know.
The
Oh,
F
it's
is
my
for
new
facts.
name.
What does it say?
No, it's Charlie. He's got this cartoon. I remembered as soon as I saw
Okay.
this. It's two backpacks sitting there, and one of them is sitting in front of a typewriter, but it's like hanging off of a chair.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly has some books inside of him.
Oh,
And he
okay.
says, I know I have a book in me.
This is another case of
It's just
same
similar.
caption, different
Similar.
setup. Every now and then we get same setup, different punchline. Because there's tropes. There's New Yorker cartoon tropes.
Right.
But in this case, it's same caption, different setup.
Yeah.
Right.
So I feel like X-Ray Guy, and I'm yet to be convinced, but I
It's
think
a bit close to the wind, isn't it?
it is close to the wind. I'd rather scrap it than
Then go and steal someone's joke.
basically do the one thing you're not allowed to do. All right, so that's number one. Number two is it might be a bit.
It really sucked the air out of the room, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
We had a great idea someone came up with 10 years ago.
Okay. So the next one is a gentleman in front of, and look, it's not to scale. Maybe he's in the foreground. Who knows? It is the statue of Michelangelo's David.
Michael or Mickle? Do you find people that say Michelangelo a bit much?
People who say Michelangelo can get the
Yeah,
fuck out.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Does anyone say Michelangelo? Good.
No.
Okay. That's
Probably
why-
say the Sistine Chapel too, you animals.
Savages. All right. So we've got Michelangelo, and obviously some kind of museum curator guy. I always like a skivvy with a jacket.
Sure.
Skivvy with a jacket and probably some loafers. Let's be honest. Lower East Side. So, but he's presiding over Michelangelo's David. Unfortunately, his genitals have fallen to the ground.
Oh, right.
Okay. The caption is, "I'm gonna need your best penis guy."
Oh, wow. Call the penis guy.
Penis guy. Now this is off the back of last week when someone.
When my penis fell off. Okay.
Yeah. Do you remember?
Long story. So, yeah.
Yeah. We had someone suggest a joke about the expulsion of Adam and Eve from the Garden of Eden, and then it had since been their genitals had been painted over with leaves.
Oh, yeah, that was the introduction.
And then when it was restored, they needed their best penis guy to redraw the penis and vagina.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the
that's right, that's right.
genitals. So I thought, I'm going to need your best penis guy might be I don't know, couldn't they print the word penis in the New Yorker? I mean, they print the word Trump, but... Oh, that's a low blow.
Take that, leader of the free world.
Yeah, got him.
He's going to feel the heat. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Is there something in the twist of this where
Okay.
it's...
Smash.
It's a guy that...
Yeah.
It's a guy that's in his workstation, like he's
Yeah.
a sculptor. He's just surrounded by dicks.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
dicks on dicks on dicks on dicks on dicks.
Yeah. That's
And then
me.
he's looking at the news,
Yeah.
and the penis has fallen off the statue of David, and he's like, "I've been waiting for this my whole life. Like
Is it
I've been training for this moment."
Is he like Batman?
He's just been doing dicks since he was 10. Yeah.
He's been drawing dicks on things. He's the guy drawing cock and balls on everything.
Yeah, that's the bloke from the playground.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the playground,
yeah.
the same guy when he was 9 years old.
Yeah.
Is it like
speaking of the playground, sorry to cut you off.
go on then.
So I live above a skate park.
Yeah.
And there's always kids like going. It's near a middle school, so there's always kids going to have a fag before school. And
It's
there's
also
al-
near Action
There's
Bronson.
there's always a punch up there,
Yeah.
and it's kind of a bit of a happening place for people aged 12 to 14.
Yeah.
This morning I was getting ready to go out, And I was just kind of looking out the window, and I see this kid, and he's got a hoodie on, and there's some like bushes, and I see him, he pokes up like a meerkat, and then he just drops down. And I'm like, what the fuck is that kid up to? Because all his mates are like just smoking cigarettes in the public, so I don't know what he's up to. Then he stands up again, and I see him drop trowel, takes a shit.
Classic.
Just a quick preschool shit in the park.
Yeah, no, that checks out. I'm glad you saw me.
And then, and then I was like, and because there was something about it, I was like, I should give him his privacy. So I kind of like, but I wanted to keep an eye to see what he did
rude.
afterwards. Yeah, I felt like a bit of a weirdo.
Yeah.
And then he just got up and just went about his day.
Classic.
And there was a part of me that was like, I wish I could do. I can't go to a public toilet, like let alone shit in a park.
Classic New York Louis C.K.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think we could sell this. I honestly think we might be able to sell this.
Yeah.
With the word penis in it.
Is that really an issue? Do you reckon that could be an issue?
I swear to God, I know it's the word penis, but guess what? Michelangelo had a Dickelangelo. So I reckon we can sell it. I reckon we can get it through.
You
to
like
the keeper.
that?
Yeah.
Penis has been in prior cartoons.
Oh, please tell us.
Ed Steed has one big statue of a face in an art gallery. They're looking at a big face upstairs, and he goes, that explains the giant penis downstairs.
Yes.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Spiral staircase, big
yeah.
guy with a beard up on the 10th floor. This explains the penis on the foot floor.
So what you're saying is that I can't get Jason to draw 500 penises. That's what I'm hearing.
I think I'll do that. Anyway, we're going.
Yeah.
I like that. That's funny.
That's the next. Now, for the next cartoon, I look. Don't think that this is any indictment on you. I don't think you can help me with the cartoon to make it better. It's just that I've got a mate who I think could help me out a little bit more, and he's from The Daily Show on Comedy Central and has a special on Netflix, and he's a very special guest for this evening. And I think we should probably welcome him from backstage. He's been hanging out. Ladies and gentlemen, please make very welcome into the room, Mr. Roy Wood Jr.
Oh, yeah. That's a nice penis right there. All right.
For people listening at home, Roy just came in and said, that's a nice penis. He didn't even see the picture. He just looked at my groin. That's the first thing he said.
You know the interesting thing about statues back in
Please.
the day? Statues are just like 14th century dick pics. Like, that's all.
Do you
Like,
think...
we respect them as art, but
Yeah.
it's just because they're old. How do you know that statue wasn't just some dude who went to his homeboy and was like, I'm trying to impress this woman, chisel my dick and some limestone.
Do you think women were getting unsolicited sculptures in the 14th century? Like, oh, this prick just sent me another
I need you
statue.
to come over and pick up this sculpture out my front yard, you fucking pervert.
How do you block that?
But
Now-
good, thank you for having me.
Thank
How
you
are
so much for coming,
It's a
Roy. We
pleasure. It's a
appreciate you
pleasure.
being
It's a
here.
pleasure.
So basically, the run of the mill. We don't expect you to have listened to the pod, but we're going to run through some jokes tonight, and we really hope that if you don't have one yourself, if they're that you can help.
Well,
punch
I don't
up
know
others.
if I can follow the crumbled dick on the ground. I
That's-
had one.
I've
but
said
it was-
that a few times.
It was very. I mean, I
in
don't know,
many
mine
open
was simple.
mic situations. Okay, so the next one I've got is actually it's kind of a New York situation. It's a classic trope. It's the guy on the street holding the end is nigh, and fuck, I hope it is. And then there's the suited gentleman walking past, and he's saying into his phone, "Set a reminder for nigh."
Oh, I like that. That's funny.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Is there something in that? Is there?
Yeah, that's something
That's
in
a
that
good
one.
All right, okay, all right. And then
That's really funny.
after statue dick, we've got
Hey-yo.
okay. So The last one I have.
That is literally the worst sound you can hear another comedian make. If you ever tell a joke, you go, ooh, boing, or just a noise. If they don't know how to react and they just make a noise, you know you've fucked up.
Or tug on their collar.
Yeah. Thinking about going back to school? You should. Go back to school.
And this is my last one for the evening, which is it's Atlas, and he's left his globe at the coffee shop, and he's saying, "Can you watch my stuff for a minute?" Now, Ellis, fact throws, that hasn't been done, has it? So
Something close?
okay, so there's a Will McPhail cartoon of a gentleman leaning over to a lady who looks like Sophia Warren, who is saying, "Do you mind watching my stuff?" and fighting a burglar, which I thought was
like
very
that
funny.
joke.
But
Yeah.
it's the only other Watch My Stuff cartoon I could find in the New Yorker.
There's a large, what do you call it? Large
Hadron Collider.
Hadronic collider one Jason Adam Katzenstein did. Can you watch my?
Oh, that's way better.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Oh, no.
this is dead. Okay. Fantastic. Now, Roy, I know we did word you up ahead of the show and said, listen, if you've ever had in your brain, if you've ever had sort of an idea for a New Yorker cartoon, even a premise, then we can kind of chuck it around and see what comes out. Did you manage to?
Yeah, I think I have one.
Do you read the New Yorker, Roy? Like, are you a fan? Like, or are you a bit like me, where you're like, I know it exists, but I'm not smart enough?
You're not gonna believe this. This is for real. So every month I read 4 magazines, but every month I change the 4 magazines, and it's just so I can know about a lot of odd shit, just so I'm up. So it might be
Like
Wired,
specialized thing? Yeah, right.
and then it might be Guns and Ammo, and then Ebony, and then. And then it might be highlights for kids. Like it could be. I have a 2-year-old. Let me just make that clear. I don't want you to think I'm just off in Barnes and Noble in the kids section. Yes.
Introducing yourself to the neighbors. Yeah.
Yeah, I have one.
Okay.
I am familiar with the New Yorker. I do read it from time to time. It's in
Do
the
you
rotation.
find the cartoons funny in the New Yorker? That's
Yeah,
it.
you know who else got some good cartoons on the low is fucking Playboy.
Yes.
Those
Now.
Playboy cartoons where the people are in the bed after banging.
That's
That's
right.
which is realistic because that's when the humor happens.
That
like,
is
right
when the
after
funniest
sex.
stuff happens. Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
good stuff. All right, so I have one. Give me a cell phone store.
A cell phone store.
Yeah,
Okay.
or you know, like no, it's more like a poll. Give me a poll, like a
poll?
voting, vote. I should know this considering.
Oh, you
where
mean
I
like a
work.
polling
the
booth?
place where you go vote for the person
Polling booth?
that you like. Yeah, like a polling center, station, if you will.
Yeah.
With the multiple little booths, and then you got one person talking to another person.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so polling
You know,
booth in the
2
background.
people talking
Okay.
to, you know, and you got
A couple of people talking in the foreground.
you know,
Okay.
you got one person talking to another person, and they're both
Classic New
holding-
Yorker. Yeah. Okay. All right.
and they're both holding "I voted" stickers.
Ooh. Okay. All right. I voted.
Ever seen someone with an I voted sticker like a week after an election? And you're just thinking, change your shirt. What are you doing?
In addition to "I voted" stickers, we need a morning. I'm gonna vote. Give me some fucking time. I have until 8 p.m. sticker. Like we don't have the same schedule, asshat. But I'm gonna vote. I promise.
I think that's a
I mean, that's a
shout.
lot. That's more of a decal. Like
That's a
now,
shout.
we're getting to a full Sean John design on the front, but yeah. So
We're gonna do merch next week.
You
It's a
know.
very busy t-shirt.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a polling station. Let it be known that I'm not a citizen, so I've never been to a polling station. I have no fucking idea what these
You know what?
look
That's
like.
pretty good. That's actually pretty
Okay.
good, minus the sad hardwood floors and the basketball goals. I'm from the South. Every polling station is a shitty middle school gym that hasn't won a championship since like 1992. Yeah, there you go. That's it. That's it. There's always some lukewarm coffee in the corner.
Maybe goat bear cats in the... There's always some animal that you're not sure exists.
Yeah, it's always,
Go
the cougar cub.
Yeah,
It's
cougar
like-
cub. What is that?
The cougar
The
dragon.
cougar owls? That doesn't sound like an animal.
This is a cougar owl.
No, this is pretty spot on. You have captured.
That's a fucking cougar owl right there. There we go. All right. So the cougar owls are playing after the voting takes place. Now, this is the crucial part of the cartoon, and that is, what is the caption?
You know what's always difficult about the New Yorker? I guess what I respect about it, having thought about this.
Yeah.
You only get a sentence.
Exactly.
You don't get bing, 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 bing.
There's no setup and punch. It's all
just
punch.
On the line.
Yeah, that's right.
So the line was, and I'm gonna butcher this, but I had it in my
Please.
head perfectly earlier today. It's coming from the one on the left.
Okay.
And it's a little bleak. I'm gonna just say that, preface it with that.
Okay.
I hope my vote got through this time. Reception was a little weird last year. The reception was a little weird 2 years ago. So it's
and forgive me, are these a couple of white people talking, or are they in Florida?
I think it's indifferent. It's just two voters who just both feel like their vote wasn't
they're two
heard
voters
from the last
All right.
election.
I hope my
Reception was bad in 2016. I hope my vote got through this time. And that's
Reception.
even that's one sentence, but it's still too long for a New Yorker. So you understand?
Yeah. You don't.
That's
Okay.
what I'm
I
struggling
don't
with
think
all
you
day.
need the second line. I think
So-
I hope it got through the
The
time
joy
it's
of
fine.
the joy of the New Yorker cartoon is word economy, and what we beat ourselves up about and keep ourselves awake at night about is word economy. So, as you know, as a comedian, you want to get to the laugh as quick as possible. So if there's a way to set it up visually instead of in the language, I hope my vote got through this time. Reception was bad last time. Do we put a fucking cricket logo? Cricket Mobile?
Well, and that's with the whole cell phone parallel. And
Yeah.
There's a problem. How many bars of democracy are you getting? That was one.
That's funny. That's really funny.
Well, that was the original. But they were like both
That's
with
a joke.
phones
That's a joke.
at the polling station on the phones. Like, well, how many bars of democracy are you getting?
Oh, that's
And it's like
fantastic.
a reception.
That's
But they're both looking at the phone with the
Right.
stickers. And I just was
Actually, yeah.
See,
I think
that's
I
what I
like
get
that
for
joke.
second guessing myself. In a
No, this
Uber
is our
pool.
entire lives. I mean, yeah. It's how many bars of democracy did you get last time? Me, I had no reception.
Yeah, last time,
I've
this
typed
time,
in
whatever.
cast
It's
time,
all the
which
same.
the spell checkers would laugh. All right, how many bars am I getting? All right, if that gets in, I swear to God, I'm gonna pay you 20 cents. All right, on the dot. All right, yeah. Bills, what do
It's
you reckon?
probably a bit hacky, but is there something in the idea of the polling stuff all being in Russian this time? Like they've just thrown away any
That's
pretense.
pretty good.
And it's all like,
Oh
yeah.
man, put some
What if
backward
it's-
E's up there.
Yeah. What if it's like? What if
I don't know
it's
anything
like-
about Russian. I just know there's backwards E's for sure. The schwa symbol, I believe, or is that upside down? I don't know.
What if it's Democrat, Republican?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking weird. I'm sorry. It's super racist. It's an age-old culture with its
Yeah.
own entire dialect, and I don't
Then
know
under
how to
that,
write
you
it.
put independent. And that's a proper ballot, I think. That's not nice. There's independent voters in here. That's disrespectful.
Did you see Ralph Nader lecturing someone on how they're like, this is why they lost the election? I'm Ralph Nader. Like, motherfucker, even I know you're fucked. Like,
That's amazing.
that's a good joke.
Oh, it's rule of fours. All right, so we have. I wondered before we go to audience suggestions.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if we could do a lightning round with Roy. Is that something
Oh,
we might
yeah.
do?
Do you wanna
What
do
do you
that?
think, Roy?
I'm for it. I'm for
Yeah,
it.
for it. Okay. So this next one is actually something. It's more of a speed round, if you will. So we have cartoons without a caption, as you probably seen on the NewYorker.com. They do this sometimes. They get a celebrity in to caption New Yorker cartoons.
We good? Can people?
But in this case,
It is huge.
you know what? I'm gonna make this an is there something in this original? And I'm gonna call it caption carriage. What do you think? All right. So we have a couple in bed. The gentleman is awake, and so is the woman. She's staring at the roof, and it's morning. He's woken up and he's saying something. What do you think is going on here? Is there something in this? It's all right.
Just while Roy's thinking for the we've sold this joke, right? Yeah, we
Yes,
did.
we
We've
have.
sold
We've
this
actually
joke.
sold this
Yeah.
joke already to the New Yorker. But you'll never see the caption until it runs in the New Yorker. We have sold this one. Yeah.
Do you suffer from fiscal dysfunction?
All right. I'll play
That's
that.
that's a
What about this
Playboy
one?
joke, right?
We've got Kanye opposite President Trump with the press alongside. Obviously, Kanye this week last week wearing his "Make America Great Again" hats. They're having a little meeting. Either one of them could be talking in this. We did sell this one also to Mad Magazine, but again, the caption has been deleted. The Roy Wood Jr.
Like father, like son?
Yep, that works. We have a couple of parents tapping their feet as the teenager walks in at midnight. They're saying something to her. You have kids, right?
Yes.
Yes. How old are they?
Importantly, I have one who's 2.5, but more importantly, I have parents who still look at me like that in the house.
Yeah. So what do you think for this one?
Where have you been, young lady? We can't use our phones properly.
That's great.
Amazing.
What was the
Something in that ballpark.
The caption that we had was, where have you been? We were so worried we nearly started a podcast.
Yeah. Like a true crime.
Because you know every podcast is about a missing teenage girl now.
And
So we need to finish.
yeah.
But before we do, does anyone have like an idea that they would like to pitch? You do. You are very keen.
Wow.
Okay, what's your
She's
name?
come prepared.
Elizabeth, what's your idea?
Yeah, so I'm a musician. So
Okay.
I'm the aforementioned musician in the group. And so so I played violin from age 4 to 5.
Wow.
Very good.
Tiger baby.
But yeah, so I kind of imagine like there's this there's like a violin teacher who looks very stern, my memory, and then there's like a teeny tiny violinist who's very nervous, and she's saying to him like, well, your technique was perfect, but I can't help but feel that you've been mocking me. Something like that.
Well, your technique was perfect, but I can't help but think you were mocking me.
Yeah, but it's like she's like on a stool. Like this person's like Stuart Little. Like they're on
Stuart Little, that's a mouse.
I know, but not a mouse, but like a person of that size. The teeny, world's tiniest violin. Right. Ah, there you go.
Nice.
Oh. Well, that's what I
See? Even I don't get.
Yeah, it's not a New
fantastic
Yorker
jokes.
cartoon if you don't make people feel really dumb. It's the only reason we're here. Every laugh was like a dagger through our hearts. Oh, they got it. We're not smart.
Yeah, so it's little, piggy tails and like.
But even
techniques.
smaller, right?
Even smaller. All right.
Because
Classic. All right, there you go. All right. On a stool, you said? Yeah, okay.
Oh, that's good.
That's quite funny.
That's good.
That's good. Give it up for
Elizabeth, ladies and gentlemen.
Very nice. That's very cool. I like that. Look at that. Audience suggestions, like listener suggestions from live.
Can I be honest? We were like, oh, should we go to the audience? And we're like, it's always death. Don't go to the audience. And then Elizabeth just
came
with some
prepared.
just gold. How long have you been sitting on that for? A couple of months.
she's been listening.
Right. And also, did you say you did violin from ages 4 to 5?
She was really neat.
That's not a very long time.
No, that's
And
1 year.
You introduced yourself. I'm a musician. I played the violin from 4 to 5. I assume you went on with other music, because if you didn't, that's a bullshit title.
Yeah. Was it 4 p.m. to 5 p.m.? Because that's even worse.
Where's that instructor now? I know you Facebooked him. We always Facebook the evil people in our lives. That's what Facebook is for.
In hell.
In hell?
Hell.
That's
Do you
good.
know, can I tell you something that I do which is very bad, is when there's a newspaper story of some crime or something, I find them on Facebook.
Fuck off. Really?
I find the murderers and their friends.
What are
and
you,
like
Batman?
find out what people are saying, and then I judge them.
With vengeance? Or?
Yeah, like I'm like, of course, yeah, you would like fucking Little Pump. You're a murderer. Like, it's very bad.
You know what I thought about doing in LA before I got hired and had to move here was like read up on the murders, like in the paper.
Yeah.
Because if someone's murdered, it's terrible, but if someone's murdered, their apartment is available for rent. And just calling up the landlord and just going, hey, heard you
Is
got
it
a
rent
vacancy.
stabilized?
Yeah, and it's we can get into it after the show. I don't want to make it dark.
Good landlords, do you have your own bleach?
No, if someone gets murdered in an apartment, you rent the apartment. After the murder, you get the apartment for dirt cheap. It's like some weird. I don't know if that's the law here, but like they can't they have to tell you that there was a murder, and then they think there's a spirit, and you get like a supernatural discount. So that's how I would.
Ladies and gentlemen, Roy, do you have anything to plug? This is such a dumb thing to do because everything you do is so much bigger than this.
No,
that this is like
fun.
throwing an egg at a tank.
This is fun. I hate that I wasn't able to get her sooner because of work.
No, you were.
No, nothing to plug. Just watch The Daily Show, 11 o'clock
Yeah.
on Comedy Central.
Have you been going to any of the rallies and all that? Do they do?
Not really. I don't go to the rallies anymore because
Yeah.
I'm black
Sure.
and I don't want to deal with the bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but before Trump, during the election, every correspondent went to the rallies. Then after Trump got elected, we were like, Jordan Klepper, maybe you should go because they won't throw things.
Because
I
went to all of them and for some Australian TV things and for convicts here in America. And we were saying, well, the midterms are coming up. Should we get you out to some of the rallies to do some stuff? And the thing that we were saying was, it's not funny anymore. It was funny when Trump wasn't elected, but now it's like this high wire act to be like, ha 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 ha.
But it's even beyond race at this point. It's them versus the media. So if you are there with a camera, you have a target on your back immediately. There's people that follow you around. When we were at the DNC convention, I've seen the footage from Michael Costa, who's one of our newer correspondents. He went down to Mississippi to one of those Trump rallies, and people follow you around the rally and yell stuff during the middle of the interview. I was in Montana for a pro-gun rally, and that was weird. There's people just there monitoring you and reporting back to God knows who that you're there. And most stuff, my personal policy for Daily Show, if we're covering a rally or something like that, I don't stay in that town.
Yeah,
I go
right.
town. I just.
What is that
I'm not. I ain't. Nothing crazy has happened yet. But I ain't gonna be first. I'm gonna be second or third. You don't come with my ass, motherfucker. You got to drive to the next town over. If you don't come with my ass over some political stuff. So yeah, it's definitely interesting. It's still good to be able to cover stories that at minimum shine a light on people trying to do good things and righteous things. So, I'll do that. And anytime there's something with Trump, you can send Costa or somebody. But for the most part, we don't really go anymore either because there's no joke. There's nothing that you can say.
Yeah, it's a bit like that, right?
I'd say the last time we went was for Space Force. Oh. When Space Force was first announced.
Yeah.
And we just went to talk to people and asked them, is Space Force a good thing? Who do you want to see on Space Force? And they had suggestions of who is the enemy? And someone said Space ISIS, and I'm not making this up. Just Google Daily Show Space Force, and you can see.
Hey, is there a joke just before we go?
Yeah.
And this may have been done. It's very hacky. It's a pun,
Yeah.
and I apologise in advance. But is there something in a terrorist group that only comes around this time of the year called pumpkin spices?
Fuck off. You ever want to know how to...
Spices.
Ever want to know how to...
I think I gave more than enough disclaimers for a terrible joke.
What do they chop the heads off jack-o'-lanterns?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, that's a bit much. Now, Roy, we want to thank you for coming tonight.
Why don't I have a watch? You can give me a
Oh,
watch.
yeah, that's because you came late. That's why.
Okay, fair enough.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Fair
thank you so
Roy
much.
Wood Jr.,
Roy
ladies
Wood
and gentlemen.
Jr. That's it
That's
for
nice.
us.
That's all right, man. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Nice one. Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you, man. And we'll envelope in the back there for you. Thank you. Sounds good. Keep it going for Roy Wood Jr., ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to take off. See you next week. Come and have a beer. See you soon.